It's been a while since I've talked to you guys as myself. Usually with my YouTube channel, you just see me as, well, your boyfriend, probably. But this time it's, myself. So, I was hoping that making this video, I won't have to, like, edit a lot. This is kind of like a chill video. Well, it's not really chill. I'm kind of talking about something a little bit serious, but it's like I am planning to do this in like just one take, like no edits or anything like that. I kind of want to make it like real, make it authentic. So hopefully I won't have to edit as much. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because not a lot of other Asian American VAs / ASM artists have talked about this. And I'm not calling them out, like, please, that's not what I want you to take from this video. It's just that I wanted to do it since no one has done it. They talked about it on Twitter, I guess, for a bit. Some of them talked about it, a few, I think, but they don't go out of their way to post like a separate video just talking about this topic. So I figured that I would do it. So, and with Twitter, Twitter, you can, like, with Twitter you can, oh, there's a car. With Twitter, you have to get straight to the point, and not like elaborate or like ramble about it, you know, because Twitter, you can only, you know, tweet things very long, and I think people tend to like bash you for creating like a whole unnecessary thread of it with just your tweets. So it's much better to just like get straight to the point on Twitter and like summarize everything, make it short and simple. But for YouTube, it's perfect for me to just ramble out my thoughts, which is what I'm planning to do in this video. So I decided to make a YouTube video for it. The topic that I wanted to discuss is racism that Asian Americans and Asian American immigrants face. I'm mainly going to be talking about my experiences, but we'll see if I kind of like just ramble about, you know me, I tend to just like talk and just spout out nonsense, but we'll see. I'll try to get straight to the point, with a little bit of ramble, because I do have my Google Doc here, like a list of what I should be talking about, just to not stray away too much far from the topic. So with the recent, like, how should I say this? Like, with the recent events of, I guess, racist acts towards Asian Americans. Well, the Asian racism has been going on for so many years now, and it's just that today that the media is finally starting to notice it, which is why so many Asian people are speaking out now, because it's our chance to finally, you know, talk about it without, you know, being denied to. Because I think with Asian people in America, there's this one common, like, obstacle that we face. And that's basically the normalization of it. The normalization of Asian racism is so severe that some people don't even some Asian people don't even realize that they're facing that they're being, you know, bullied because they're Asian, or so many Asian people are internalizing this racism to the point that they're being racist to themselves. You know, like they're trying to downplay themselves compared to other races, and it's so sad to see. So let me actually tell you my story of it. So if you guys didn't know, I'm Filipino. I was born in the Philippines, and I moved here when I was around elementary school, I think. Yeah, I remember elementary school. So I was quite young. However, I did retain some knowledge of my language. And my parents tried really hard to, you know, preserve their Filipino culture to me, and, you know, try to remind me of who I am, ethnically wise, I guess. So, I'm Filipino. I may be a bit Spanish and I may be a bit Chinese, but I consider myself Filipino. With that, I think I can give my point of view of what it's like being an Asian American immigrant, because I still remember it. My problem, my struggle, I guess, is that I'm so, right now, my struggle right now is that I'm so mad at myself that I haven't noticed it before, that I was facing, you know, I was facing comments about myself, about being Filipino, about being, you know, out of this country, or like being, like, you know, not American and stuff like that. And I thought I thought it was just like a normal thing for people to experience, like to comment on your food, comment on the way that you speak, comment on how you don't know things in America. I thought people telling me that it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I shouldn't do this, or I shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't be like this, or whatever. Like, they keep on telling me these things to control my life, and it worked. Unfortunately, it kind of worked. I remember when I brought, you know, rice and chicken adobo to like my lunch. I would open it, and then all of my friends looked at my lunchbox, and they were like, "Oh my god, like, why does that chicken look like poop?" And I got so embarrassed. I'm like, what the fuck? I never thought of it like that, but I guess now it does look like poop. And I had to go out of my way and tell my dad, like, can you not make food for me anymore? I'll just buy some stuff on the lunch line, which was a terrible mistake. I hated school lunch food. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. I really wish that my dad can cook for me again. But yeah, that's one of the examples that people, you know, bullied me for. Another one is kind of quite severe. I remember in middle school where we were talking, like, in what was this class? I think it's like world cultures, like learning about other cultures and stuff. And, you know, you would think that that class would be a lot more open-minded. But when they went to discuss countries in Asia, it just shows pictures of, like, I guess, East Asian people. I'm not even East Asian, I'm Southeast Asian. And it would just look, the PowerPoint would show like different videos of Japanese culture, Korean culture, Chinese culture, and literally everyone was like, since I'm the only Asian in that class, everyone is like, oh my gosh, it's Vile. Look, it's Vile. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so many people that look like Vile, and I'm like, I look nothing like them. I literally look nothing like them. What are you talking about? And I never said anything because, like, I thought it was normal. And what made it worse is that the teacher didn't find it, like, offensive to me. The teacher kind of, like, laughed it off. And, you know, that was kind of disappointing. So with that, like, the people that I grew up with, they make me realize that, they make me control, like, hey, you should just take this as a joke and stuff, and that, you should just let it go, you know, you don't have it as hard as other people, other races have it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, when people defy that, like, when people tell me that, oh, Asian people don't have it as hard as other, like, blank people, I'm like, no, don't do that. Do not pin other races against each other. Like, that's what you're trying to do, and it's not gonna fucking work. Because, like, let's say, like, black people have it hard, yeah, but they face racism differently than Asian people. Same thing with Native American people, or not Native American, like, indigenous people, or, like, Hispanic/Latino people. Hispanic/Latino people have their own problems of, like, illegal immigration, like, facing, like, ICE and stuff. With black people, it's like, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement with police brutality and stuff, and indigenous people with, you know, with their preserves, with reservation preserves and stuff like that. They have their own thing. Like, people of color should not. I hated that. I always hate that. Like, don't pin other races into having the same problem of racism. It's different. Okay? Like, the degree, it doesn't matter what degree it is. Like, you can't pin them as if it's, like, the same problem. Different races experience different kinds of racism differently. Except for, you know, white people, because white people don't really experience racism. And even if you put them in the same light, okay? So let's say, like, oh, Asian people don't have it as hard as Hispanic/Latino people. That doesn't matter, because as long as racism exists, it's still a problem no matter how light or how hard it is. Like, okay, yeah, sure, I don't have it as hard as Hispanic/Latino people or black people or indigenous people, but I'm still facing racism. Like, that's the whole point. Like, defeat the common enemy here. Like, destroy racism. Like, please. So, yeah, people always tell me that, like, you don't have it as hard as blank. I'm like, okay, well, I still have it, you know? That's my main problem. Like, I hate it when people tell me that. But this is only till recently. I only thought of it recently. You know, throughout my high school years, people tell me, like, it's normal. Okay, don't get too triggered about this or whatever, and like it's fine. You know, I'm like, okay. And I listen to them. I'm so mad at myself. Like, I listen to them, and it comes to a point where, like, it had, and the unfortunate thing is, I'm not the only one who fell a victim of this. So many other Asian American people fell the victim of, like, this is normal. We can joke about this. I'm telling you this right now because it's okay. Like, you know, as I'm saying, normalization of Asian racism is such a fucking problem. It comes to a point where, you know, it's snowballed effect, you know? It's such the little microaggressions first. Like, oh my gosh, like, you got a 64 on the math test? I thought Asians are supposed to be smart. Or like, oh my gosh, like, you use chopsticks instead of a fork? That's kind of like weird. Or for Filipinos, like, oh, you use your hands instead of like a spoon and a fork? That's kind of like gross. You know what I mean? Like, little microaggressions like that. You can take people, Asian people take it in, they become desensitized to those comments, and it snowballs effect into something more severe. To like, maybe it had to take the pandemic, like, you know, pandemic comments, like people harassing Asian people just because, you know, they're Asian and they think that they're spreading the virus, or the Atlanta shooting that recently happened. Like, it had to take the pandemic and the Atlanta shooting for the media to finally realize that, oh, maybe Asian people might be actually facing racism. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Asian racism has been happening for like literally a century. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm just like, it happened. Like, it snowballed into something more severe, and we could have prevented it if Asian people were a bit more like, I don't know how to explain it, woke. But that's kind of, it's not our fault that we're desensitized, you know? It's not our fault. And I'm so mad at myself that I really wish that I could have realized it sooner, that I was being bullied by these comments. Because I didn't think of it was a big deal back then, but looking at it now, I'm insecure about my own skin. I don't like the way that I talk because people made fun of my Filipino accent. I don't like the things that I say because it might come out as, you know, rude or like foreign. I still think about that. Like, it made me so insecure as a person about my own identity that, like, I'm just so mad. I'm just so fucking mad. So, growing up, that's how I feel. And this is like my own experiences of racism, you know? It's not like downright like, oh my god, I am being attacked because I am Asian. I know some people have it that, and I feel so sorry for them. Those harassments that Asian Americans face, it's so fucking bad. But there's an airplane. But I'm fortunate enough to not actually experience that. I just get, like, you know, comments here and there, but that's what made me insecure now, you know? So it's still kind of bad. But anyways, that is my experiences of Asian American racism, and, you know, as an immigrant as well. I don't know what you can gain from this. I know this is just me telling my story. I'll probably be linking some sources more about the history of Asian American racism, or donation links to you know, Stop Asian Hate, and or GoFundMe's and stuff like that. I realized that I have made a post, not like a video, but like a post on YouTube before, but I still feel the need to do a video on this, so yeah. Well, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. It'll probably be my Patreon poll one, so I'm excited for that. go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. I'm gonna be like a full YouTuber here and be like, subscribe to me, I guess. Like this video. I guess click on that notification bell, stuff like that. I don't know. But it's nice talking to you guys again. I missed you. Kisses, kisses. I miss you guys. But with that, again, I'll see you guys next time.